You could come down onto your back. We're going to start in constructive rest pose, so maybe we can just get set up and just let the back have a little time here to like stretch out on a flat surface and let the knees rest against one another.
You can go ahead. I'll keep trying to get on here.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I saw when you're in the waiting room. So we start in this constructive rest pose today. And this is a class, or these next few classes coming into January, kind of diving into this winter season, is to move into the water element. There you go. And the water element is the archetype of the baby or the philosopher. There's this sort of wisdom that we carry with us into a new cycle, but it's also that realm of possibility and potential. Right? It's something new, but all of the potential is there. And so we'll stay fairly low to the ground as we work with this water element. We'll get to massage the kidneys along the back, and you might even start to feel that as you breathe here and feel the belly expand, the back expand, and just start to press into the mat through the breath. And sort of like we were talking about in the beginning before we started this practice today, is that this time of year is really interesting. There's this dynamic of wanting to have new goals and set new intentions, which is really great, but it might prompt us to want to try to do maybe everything at once or feel like we need to do so much. But the other thing that this time of year asks us to do is to rest and to reflect and to slow down. And I do think that these two components, these two energies can really work together well. Constructive rest is a good place to embody that. So just take a quiet moment here to let a mantra or a word come up as an intention today. A higher vibrating word or phrase that you can use to set as an intention. We'll also getting really embedded into this feeling of rest, reflection. You can just hold that phrase or that word in your mind. And we'll do a little bit of breath work here on the back. So we're going to extend the exhales just a little bit. So notice your breath just as it is, the natural inhale and exhale. And then start to extend the length of your exhale by just a second or two. I always think this extended exhale is a little easier when you're lying on your back, because it's a breath that helps let go. And in a posture such as this, we have gravity to help us let go of that breath. You can feel your belly button moving down towards the spine. It's really just a letting go on that breath out. With every inhale, maybe repeating your mantra or intention. And every exhale, simply letting it go all the way out. Take just 2 or 3 more breaths like this on your own. And then bring your knees in towards your chest, curl into a little ball, and rock a little side to side. Again, massaging along the back, massaging the kidneys. If it feels good, you might bring the forehead to the knees and just stretch along the back a little bit. And then start to roll forwards and backwards. Bring your knees a little bit wider though. Instead of having them tucked right into your chest, take them out towards like a happy baby, and then start to take a rock along the spine. And we're actually going to come up for a moment, but then we're gonna roll back down after that. So after you get a few rolls that gain some momentum, come all the way up to a cross-legged seat. Sit up nice and tall and reach your arms up to the sky. Let your sits bones ground into the earth, and like you're trying to pick an apple or something from a tree, reach one hand up at a time, alternating side to side. And just a gentle little stretch here. And bring both arms out wide like you're about to give somebody a big hug. A little arch of the spine. You can circle your wrists a bit here. Long exhale. Bring your hands down to the thighs. Take a quiet moment in your seat to connect to your center. And then we'll move into the wake up routine, deepening the breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Find K27 right below the collarbones and begin to tap or thump into these 2 points. End of kidney meridian, the wake up or the on button for your body's energy. Move to the center of the sternum, thymus thump. Staying relaxed, easy in the body. We don't need to force anything here. To the side seam of the body, end of spleen meridian. I could feel stomach coming out and knew that it wasn't right, but it came out anyways. Spleen. Then shake off your hands. Now we'll get to the stomach points right on the cheekbones beneath the eyes, a little lighter tap. Option to tap all the way around the eyes. Getting a lot of great points, maybe helping massage out any stuck energy in the sinuses. Shake off the hands, bring them back down to the thighs. Just a quiet breath before we move on to notice how you feel. Any sensations that you can notice as you start to wake up the energy of the body. Connect to the energy of your body. And start to march the hands in place, one at a time. Imagine the energy following your movement, right? As your arm moves, energy moves. And then pause that movement and we'll cross it over opposite hand to knee or thigh. And again, visualizing the energy following the movement of your body. And that's really what we're asking it to do here. We're bringing together that physical and unseen energy and helping to synchronize the energy, synchronize the way that the brain communicates with the body. Keep with that nice deep cleansing breath. Do one more breath. And bring your hands in front of the pubic bone. Bring back to your mind that intention, that mantra. Let it sink down into your heart, letting it sort of rest in this heart space where it can be felt. And then letting it drop down into the hands, bringing all of your attention into the fingertips. And we're going to zip that intention right up into the central meridian. As you inhale, coming right at the center of the body. And exhale, just sweeping arms out and wide, spreading that vibration all around you. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, zip up. And spread it out. Last one on your own. Hook up, middle finger to belly button and third eye. Shoulders gently drawing back. Press in and draw up for 3 more cleansing breaths. And actually feel your fingers pulling the body up here, right? Giving your spine a little traction and lift. And then release from that hold and come back down to your back. You can use your core to roll down or hands behind the knees. Let your spine get back down to the mat and then rock a little side to side again, holding onto the knees. Now you're going to reach for the bottom of your feet, setting up for happy baby. But before you elaborate on this pose, we're just going to use the thumbs and press into K1 at the base of the feet, in between the big toe and the second toe. Opening up that area that feeds in energy from the earth. One of the meridians associated with this water element helps flush water through the body. And then you can either hold on to that point with your thumbs as you come into happy baby, or move your hands onto a different part of the feet where it's easier to hold, and lift up your feet towards the sky. You can rock a little side to side here, rolling over the physical kidneys on the back. Just open up that inner seam of the leg. We also have bladder meridian running down the spine, so giving a little massage onto that as well. Start to move into your yogic breath. And then release, feet come down to the earth, set up for a bridge pose. Arms by your side. We're only going to move the arms to start. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, release, arms come down to your sides, and then draw the chin towards your chest. Roll the shoulders up and reach your fingers past your heels. Little core engagement, let the body shake just a little bit, and then roll it back down. On your next breath in, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, release the arms down to your side. Draw the chin to the chest, reach past your heels, draw the belly in, and release. One more time, just the arms, reach up and back. Exhale, reach past your heels, chin comes in towards the chest. And then let's add on the hips as you lower everything down, press into the feet, lift hips and arms. Exhale, lower and reach past your heels. Inhale, bridge, reach up and back. Exhale, chin to chest, reach past your heels. And one more time, inhale, bridge. Exhale, reach past your heels. Lower the shoulders and head down, draw knees in towards the chest, rock a little side to side. Keep the right knee in towards the chest. Extend the left leg up towards the sky. Flex the ankle. And then slowly start to lower that left heel down. Slow, slow, slow. Keep going. Hover when your foot is about 6 inches off the mat. Draw your forehead towards your knee, curling everything in. Hold and breathe. Lower the head down, lift the left leg up. And then switch sides, left knee in towards the chest, right leg presses up towards the sky, flex the foot, and slowly start to lower that right heel down. Connected to your core, getting the heel down to about 6 inches, 12 inches off the mat, and then hold it here. Draw chin to chest, forehead to the knee, curl it in, pressing the belly button down into the spine, into the mat, hold. And release the head, lift the right leg back up, and then send both legs up to the sky. You can let your arms go anywhere that's comfortable. Maybe you stretch them overhead or out to the sides. Point the feet, flex the feet, point the feet, flex, point, and flex, and then circle your ankles around in one direction, and switch. Nice deep yogic breaths. Bring the legs together. If they're not already, bring the arms down to the sides. Lower the heels down slowly, slowly. Feel the belly button drawing towards the core. Only go as far as you can while keeping the back flat. When you found that edge, hold it there and breathe. See if you can keep the heels pressing together and the toes splitting apart. So it's like a V shape with your feet. And then lift the legs all the way up and lower them down to your extent. Just a few little leg lifts here. Lift them up and lower down. Lift them up, lower down. And one more time, lift them up and lower down just to your extent. Lift them back up, bring the legs back into the chest, curl into a little ball, rock side to side. Bring the knees a little wider, start to rock forward and backwards along the spine. You might hold behind the knees. And then this time we'll roll past our cross-legged seat. So you can come all the way up, cross the shins, and then stepping back into a tabletop. You can rock your hips a little side to side here as you find position. Maybe let the head move a little bit, an organic movement. And then come into a steady position and move through a few cycles of cow and cat. Inhale, belly lowers. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time. Come back to tabletop, spread the knees wide, big toes touch, sit back to child's pose. Let your head rest. Remind yourself of your mantra or word of higher vibration. Lift your head just enough to walk your hands to the right side of the mat, stretching on that outer shoulder. Lower the head back down, option to interlace left fingers into the right. Release, walk through center, switch sides. Release, come through center, We're going to flow with the breath. Inhale, drag the hands back to the shins, lift up onto your shins, and arms come all the way overhead. You're going to Celtic weave, coming back into a child's pose. Inhale, roll it on up, lift up to the sky. Exhale, weave it down. Once more, just like this. Inhale. Weave it back down to the earth. Arms extended. Inhale, come to tabletop and then tuck your toes. And exhale, downward facing dog. Your first time here, stretch it out, move about. Pause the movement. Inhale, forward to tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. We're going to weave these two together now. Inhale, come up onto the shins. Lift your arms overhead. Exhale, Celtic weave back into child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to keep flowing through it this time. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale up to the shins. Exhale, weave it down. Inhale, tabletop, tuck toes, downward facing dog, breathe out. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale up to the shins. We're going to stay standing this time. You can still weave your arms, but stay up on your shins. Just bringing the arms down to the sides. If the knees are not under the hips already, go ahead and walk them in. And then tuck both of your toes. You're going to come into a supported camel pose. And we'll do it one at a time. So you can bring your pincher fingers, your thumb and pointer finger, to the Achilles heel. And just kind of press into those 2 points. And then start to feel your belly and your hips pressing forward in this half camel. And then you can lift that left arm up to the sky. If you feel okay here, you might be able to back bend a little further, bringing that left thumb back, lifting up through your heart. And we'll lower back out. You can release the hips a little bit and switch sides, bringing the pinchers to the left Achilles. Start to feel your hip press forward, extending the right arm up to the sky. And then maybe playing with that back bend. And the legs, the glutes are really engaged here as you back bend, right? That's protecting the spine. Just go to your extent. And lower back out. Balancing up on the shins, we're going to come into EMYoga. So bring all your fingertips to touch. Thumbs come to the center of the heart. Index fingers into the base of the throat. Loop your shoulders back gently. Feel your glutes engage here. You can actually untuck the feet here. Let's press the tops of the feet down. And coming into another version of camel. Doesn't have to be a big back bend, but just feeling this lift through the heart. Breathe here. And release. Let your hips come down to your heels into hero's pose. Relax the arms by the sides. Inhale, both arms come overhead. And then twist to the right, but keep your arms about the height of the shoulder. You can turn that back palm up and gaze back towards the thumb. Breathe. And then come up through center, breathe in, and twist other way. kind of like a corkscrew rotating through the spine. Gaze back towards the left thumb. And then come up through center, breathe in. Weave the hands, Celtic weave, coming into your child's pose. Let the forehead release down. And then come forward into tabletop, lower down onto your elbows. Bring the hands together and the thumbs coming to the inner part of the eyes, right at like the start of the eyebrows. You're going to hold your head in your hands, pressing the thumbs into the corner of the eyes. A version of puppy pose, and pressing into the beginning of a bladder meridian. Letting your heart melt. Face relaxed. We'll give it a moment here to just activate that bladder energy. Running down the spine twice. Down the legs, off the toes. Take one more breath here. Release. Come all the way down to your belly. Cross the hands, triple warmer rock, head on the back of the hands and hips rocking gently side to side. And then pause that movement. Let those elbows really reach wide, the head relax, everything get heavy to the mat. Just going through your own process of releasing any fear or worry, any feelings of inadequacy that might surface. And as you release, just reminding yourself of that possibility, the potential that you were born with, right? From that seed comes everything else. You don't even have to know what that is. I don't think we can really know fully what that potential is. Sort of that mystery of life, this journey that we go through. But opening up your heart and mind and body to just know that potential and possibility exists. So that in the moment, we have the courage to move into that. We'll come into a cobra now. So start to re-engage your legs. You can imagine a zipper moving from your big toe all the way up to the inseam. Pressing pubic bone into the mat. Walk your hands by your ribs right under the shoulders and hug the elbows in. Press into your hands going to your extent that you can hold the pose and breathe. Two more breaths, holding nice and strong in the back. And then lower the forehead down to the mat. You can press up either through table or through a half plank. Press all the way up. Tuck your toes and come into a full plank pose. Just stretch the body out here, pressing into the mat. You might find a little rock forward, backwards, or even circle around the wrists. Shift the hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Nice deep yogic breaths. Moving between down dog and up dog. Inhale in your downward facing dog. Exhale to come forward to plank. Lower the hips down, look forward, breathe in. Exhale, lift the hips, press back. Inhale here. Exhale, plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, lift the hips, transition back. One more time, breathe in. Exhale, plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, if you can, we're going to go right from down dog to up dog. So we're going to breathe in down dog and then blow it out like blowing out the candle as you come forward through your up dog. And you could lower the knees here too. Let's begin together. Breathing in. Blow it out and forward, up dog. Breathe in, down dog. Out and forward, up dog. Breathe in. Blow it out. 2 more times. Breathe in. Blow it out. Breathe in. Blow it out. Good job. Downward facing dog. Hold it here. Lower the knees. Child's pose. Good job. Let the head rest. Let the arms soften. And then reach the arms back to your heels to set up for rabbit pose. And you could massage into the heels here. Just kind of squeezing the outside edges of the feet. And then rolling onto the crown of the head. The feet will split to about the width of the knees. If it feels better, you could release the heels and bring the hands under the shoulders if that feels more supportive, or if it helps you come into this posture. You want to try to roll onto the crown of the head, so really grounding into the earth. It's really a lot of the same benefits of a headstand. And then release, come back to child's pose for just a moment, arms wherever they feel comfortable. And then one more time, coming into rabbit pose, stretching the whole spine. And come back to your child's pose. Press into your hands to sit into hero's pose. Give yourself the time to transition. And then come all the way up onto the shins. And you're going to step your right foot forward, coming into your lunge pose. Sink your hips forward and down, just to your extent. And then inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Turn the palms so they're facing one another and turn the pinky fingers up. Now bring the hands down to the heart and twist, catching the left elbow to the outside of the knee. Gently press into the hands to rotate. And if you can, turn your gaze out to the side, maybe up towards the sky. Release, both hands come down to the mat. Tuck your back toe, lift the knee, high runner's lunge. Just hold it here for a moment, stretching the legs, feeling the strength draw up from the earth. Step your left foot just a foot forward, just a little hop forward, so that you can straighten the legs a little bit more and fold over the front shin. If you have blocks, they might be helpful under the hands here. Just a gentle pyramid pose. And then bend your front knee to step back again, plant the palms, step back to your plank pose, lower the knees, sit back to child's pose. Rise all the way up through your hero's pose. Come up onto the shins. And we'll step the other foot forward. Hands on hips, find your balance, and step forward. And then shifting the hips forward and down. Arms sweep up overhead, low crescent lunge. Palms come to touch. Bring them to the heart, lean forward, breathe in, and rotate right elbow, left knee. Press into the palms as you lengthen the spine and rotate. Maybe the gaze can come up towards the sky. Release, both hands come down to the mat, tuck your back toe, lift the back knee, high runner's lunge, stretch it out here, kicking through the back heel and through the crown of the head. Pyramid pose, hopping the back foot just a little further forward so you can ground both of the heels, start to straighten the legs. Connect to your own breath as you fold, letting the head release. And then this time we're going to step forward to the front of the mat, bend your front knee to transition, forward fold. Let the body sway a little bit, let the head relax. It's our first time in this position, just feeling it out. Maybe you spread the toes a little wider, shift from balls of the feet to heels a few times. Finding that even grounding. And then bend the knees. Bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. And lift the arms overhead, coming back into that fold. Release hands to the Ming Man point on the back, right behind the belly button, and begin to circle for the penetrating flow. Sea of vitality. Lift up into a gentle chair pose. Elbows, shoulders draw back. Switch the direction of your circles. Press into the legs, stand all the way up. Bring your hands down towards the sacrum, up and over the hips. Flip the palms in front of the hip flexors. Flatten the palms, come up around the torso, the throat, and cup around the mouth for 3 audible breaths. Trace the hands down the throat, land over the heart. The sea of tranquility as you take a moment to pause and reconnect to your mantra, your intention. Turning attention inwards to a feeling of centeredness in your body, calling in all of your attention to the center point at your heart. Noticing if there's anything that's pulling you away from that center. Any sensations in the body, any outwards noises or distractions. Anything in the mind that's pulling away. So you can start to sort of visualize how these outwards distractions pull you away from center. And to help bring you back, reconnecting to your breath and to the beat of your heart. And bring the hands down to your sides into Tadasana. Let's move into the belt flow, bringing hands to the left waist and tracing across. All the way around again and trace across. And one more time, pulling from the back, around, down the outside of the leg and off the pinky toe, shake it off. Tracing up, spleen, come up the inseam of the legs, flare out at the hips to the shoulders and down to the side body. Press in and take a nice deep breath. Other side, wrapping around from right waist to left. 2 more times. Down the outside of the leg, off the pinky toe. Tracing back up spleen, nourishing, digesting, assimilating. Space your feet wide on your mat. You could face the long edge of your mat. And take your arms out to a T shape. Breathe in. Exhale, come halfway down. Now, like that corkscrew again, bring your right hand down towards the center of the mat, or maybe you can reach towards the left toes and lift the left arm up towards the sky into a twist. Let's breathe here. Use your core, connect to your core to come back to the middle, arms out to a T, halfway up through the spine, and then twist the other way. Left hand coming down, right arm coming up. Open through the chest. Extend through your spine. Come up through center, arms in a T. Lifting up through your core, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then come all the way down, wide leg fold. Heel toe your feet further apart, almost like you're doing a middle splits. In fact, you could come down further if you wanted to, or just take this wider fold. If you have a block, you might place it under the crown of the head, helping to ground the head. Or maybe you're able to bring forearms down like you would set up for a headstand and lean into the stretch. Feel the outsides of the legs getting a nice big stretch. Might even feel some strength coming into those outer ankles. And then we'll press back up slowly. You can heel toe your feet a little bit closer together. And we're going to come into a side lunge. Doesn't matter which way you go. First, just stretch that inseam of the leg. Walk your way through center, the other side. And then come through the middle. Heel toe your feet closer together for Balasana. Toes point out, heels point in, hips lower down right between the heels, and hands come to heart center. Elbows into knees. You might close your eyes, take a few quiet breaths for yourself. Find the ease. Imagine peering into a crystal clear lake like a mirror with a smooth surface and bright reflection. You can release the hands, come down to your seat. Bring the feet together into a cobbler's pose. And clear the gates of the feet here, massaging in between the long bones, pinching in between each of the toes at the goalies. Massaging each toe and pinching off at the tip of each finger. And same thing with the hands. If you have massage oil, you could give a few drops into the hands or feet. Just massage in between those long bones, in between each of the fingers themselves. Remembering that energy wants to move and it needs space to move. Just helping that process, especially here in the hands where we have all of those meridians running and making a little hairpin turn at the tips of the fingers. Especially all the work that we do with our hands, just giving some love here and helping to massage out any stagnant energy. And then bring your thumbs, once you're complete with that, bring your thumbs back to K1. Just give a little massage on the bottoms of the feet. Rest your thumbs now right behind the ankle and the other fingers at the down slope of the big toe mound. And then lean in and just hold these 2 points quietly for about a minute or so, taking 10 deep breaths. Very simply feeding in nourishment directly to the spleen and kidney lanes of energy. And then we'll release, bring the hands to K1. We're going to trace up kidney, sliding the hands back towards the ankle bones, wrap around the ankle bones, little circle, come up the inseam of the legs, right up the center of the torso to K27 where we tapped in the beginning, and give a little buzz. And then reach your arms all the way up to the sky and flick your fingers up towards the sky. On an exhale, release, arms come down to the knees. Gently draw them together and roll down to your mat. Bring both legs up towards the sky. Bring your arms or your hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers with the thumbs coming to either side of the ropey tendon of the neck, the main electric points at the base of the skull. So you'll feel those two little hollows right at the base of the skull on either side of the neck. You'll rest your thumbs into those 2 points. In fact, you can give a little massage to start and then just rest the thumbs. And we'll pause here for another maybe 5 breaths or so. If it helps to keep the legs up, you could be against a wall or place a block or bolster underneath of your hips. And you don't need to press into these points under the thumbs. You can really let the hands and shoulders relax. You might start to feel some heat build or tingling, any other sensations as you tap into these powerful electric points. And if the legs get tired up in the air, you could bring them down to the earth again. Just stay connected to those electric points on the base of the head. If they're not already, you can let the legs lower down. Ground the feet into the earth. Press into the main electric points, drawing little circles at the base of the skull. And then trace down the neck, over the shoulders. Bring your left hand over the heart and let your right hand wander across the body, finding a place to connect to, linking together. Whatever area could use a little extra love with that heart energy. And trust it, wherever your hand lands is fine. If you feel complete where the hands have landed, you might choose to link together 2 other chakras or move the hand somewhere else that it feels called to move to. And when you are ready, when you feel complete with this heart anchor and wander technique, you can extend the legs, let yourself come into an extended position, Shavasana. Maybe you still let the hands rest on the body somewhere, on the head, or just taking up your space. Drop into a quiet place inside of you to rest at the end of this practice. Before you move on to more action, giving yourself this moment to reflect. You might like to gently visualize that crystal clear lake again. But zooming out a little further, seeing the whole lake, the boundaries of that lake, the curves that it makes, the shape that holds this body of water, still and clear and clean. How you might imagine the lake to look first thing in the morning when the world is still quiet. And even though the surface is still and pristine, the water holds so much life. It holds all life. Peering into this water with curiosity and wonder and gratitude. Recognizing your connection to this water. That what this pond is made of is what you're made of. It's said that this energy can travel through the realms of water because it connects us all so intimately. Having gratitude for the water that you drink today, even blessing the water that you drink with your intention, has an impact in the water in your body, has an impact in the water of the whole world. Maybe today just really honing in on this deep appreciation for the water element. Allow your breath to slowly begin to deepen, bringing yourself back into the room that you're in, into your body in this room. Letting that deeper breath, just like a pebble being dropped into the water, ripple out to your toes and fingers, causing little ripples of movement. You might take a full body stretch, just reawakening. When you're ready, bend your knees, roll into fetal position. Taking a little pause here, connecting to your intention, the ripple that you want to send out into the world today and inwards into your body. Pressing into the hands, gently coming up to your cross-legged seat. Let's bring our palms together, Anjali Mudra, humble gesture to seal in this practice, honoring yourself, this miraculous body, honoring your connection with one another, connection to the earth, the water, all the elements. And taking a humble bow, sealing in your practice any way that feels good to you. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning. And I hope you have a really beautiful rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for showing up as always.